Right, let's be honest, that performance was awful. United were awful, Arsenal were awful, the officials were horrendous. This game was just abysmal. It was seriously tough viewing. This reeked of a Carabao Cup third round tie. I don't even know how to begin to describe this game. It was awful. It was so lacking in quality, and it's such a shame to say that about two sides that are meant to be two of England's powerhouses, two sides that are recognised across the world, arguably the world's biggest team in Manchester United and one of the most successful clubs in England in Arsenal, just putting in such a mediocre mid-table, lacking in enthusiasm performance. It is such a shame to see, not just for the two clubs but for English football, that these two clubs have fallen massively. It was awful tonight. If you can't tell, well, that's how I feel about the game, and I'm sure you're feeling the exact same, because I think a lot of us predicted this kind of performance before the match, and when I saw that team lineup, I just knew exactly what type of game it was going to be. Now, I'm not one to judge too quickly on Emery's teams, because sometimes we play really well with the most unexpected lineups, sometimes we play abysmally with the lineups that you'll want to see. So I'm not too quick to judge on these teams, but I think we're starting to see a bit of a pattern when we're going away from home, and I'm not liking that pattern at all, and I think that's the same for a lot of Arsenal fans as well. That midfield three, Xhaka, Guendouzi, Torreira, away from home, shielding the defence, on paper it's fine. It is fine, but in practice it is so lacking in quality. It has no drive, it has no link between the midfield, the attack, and it just doesn't work. And it's definitely not a midfield that I'd have picked going into this game, especially when we come up against a United side that were so there for the taking. How many times have we said that in the past? We are coming to Old Trafford to play a United team that are just about as us, but we've arguably got the better attack. I think if we play to our strengths are obviously our attack. That is our key area of combat. We've got Aubameyang, we've got Pepe, we've got the likes of Reece Nelson, Saka, who was unbelievable tonight. Special mention has to go to him. He really outperformed our £72 million man in Nicola Pepe, and I'm not having a dig at Pepe in any way there at all, but Saka was immense, and it just goes to show that putting a bit of faith in youth really does pay off, and I'm excited to see how he's going to develop. I thought Reece Nelson, when he came on, apart from those corners that he put in, which were horrific, he had a pretty good 20-minute spell. Willock looked alright when he came on, albeit he only had about 10 minutes to do something in the game, but I feel like if we'd have been a bit braver in this match, we would have won, and that's what I'm not particularly happy about, the way we approach this game. Immediately, if you're setting up with the mindset that we've got to shield the defence, it kind of puts you on the back foot already mentally, because you're already allowing United to be the superior side. You're pretty much suggesting that they're going to dominate the game, control things, and we're going to have to hit them on the counter and rely on the through balls of Xhaka, Guendouzi, Torreira. And it just doesn't work. There's no real balance in that midfield. There's no real cohesion. Yes, we keep our shape well, but as I say, there's no link, there's no creativity, there's no one playing the ball through to the likes of Pepe, Aubameyang, and it just makes the attacker's job that whole much more difficult, because they're having to track back, receive the ball deeper in the game, and it just doesn't work. It might change a little bit when we've got the likes of Tierney, Bellerin influencing the attacks we have going forward, but for now, when we've got Kolasinac and Chambers at right back, it just doesn't quite work. Have to say though, on James's behalf, shaky 10 minutes, received that early yellow card, but apart from that, I thought it was immense. I really thought he had a good game, one of the shining lights from the performance this evening. Guendouzi as well, again another hearty performance, but Chambers in particular putting some brilliant balls into the box, one for Pepe, one for Saka. Both of them should have led to goals. They were such good balls, and it's great to see how he's developing in this team, and I really hope he gets a chance at centre-half, because he can't be any worse than Luis and Socrates. Neither of whom had a particularly bad game today, and it's hard to say that they can be blamed for the goal, but it's just the way the team broke down on that goal, finding ourselves on the back foot from our own corner once again. How many times has that happened in the past? Really shoddy, really poor, but McTominay, worldy of a goal. Xhaka ducking out the way. I mean, there's two ways of looking at this one. He's our newly announced captain. He should be taking the ball in the face, but you put yourself in his shoes. The natural reaction is, of course, to duck down, especially when a ball is coming to you at that speed. So, I mean, there's definitely two ways of looking at it. I find it hard to comment on that one, to be honest, but I mean, it could have gone one or two ways. I'd have loved him a lot more if he'd have taken that ball in the face, but unfortunately he didn't. But we've got the goal back, and we've not lost this game, which is the important thing. Losing to this United side would have been dreadful, but the thing that hurts most is we had the potential to win this game. We have the firepower to do things, and it was evident that when we brought Ceballos on, when we just scored that goal and we had that 10-minute spell, as we so often do when we get on the front foot, when we look to express ourselves, We do look very good going forward. We look like we can create every single opportunity we have. But then we seem to drop back and we seem to lay off and we seem to settle and go back into the boring rhythm that we started the game with. And it just doesn't work for me, especially when we've got the potential. The painful thing is there is so much potential in this team to dominate sides, especially when we're playing this garbage United side. No disrespect to United, but they are just as bad as us. But we have the potential up front with the likes of Aubameyang, Pepe, Nelson, and the fact Ozil wasn't even in the team today tells you a lot about the way Emery wants to play. Because we've got a creator there, and I know Ozil massively divides opinion, especially in these away games from home, but he is that player that wants to play creative football, that wants to play through the likes of Aubameyang, and his Arsenal career, in effect, is over. And you're crazy if you think that there's any way that he can get any sort of career salvation at Arsenal, because that's not going to happen. Not with Emery in charge, at least. And that's not me saying Emery should go, but let's be honest. How much has he featured this season? He's our highest earner. He's supposedly one of our 5 club captains, and I think that's nonsense to start with. I don't entirely believe what Emery's saying there. I feel that's more of a sentimental thing than something he actually wants to be saying. But he obviously doesn't rate Ozil, and he won't get anywhere near the team whilst Emery is in charge. He might get the odd game at home to bottom half of the table opposition, but apart from that, I don't see any way that he's going to play a big part in the club this season. So, interesting. But I mean, positive tonight, definitely Saka, Chambers. The defence wasn't as bad, but it's probably their easiest defensive performance of the season, given what they were coming up against. Leno made a couple of really good saves, has to be noted. I just can't wait for Tierney and Bellerin to get back into this side. And Rob Holding, God almighty, get him in this team ASAP. I think we will look better when those players are in the side, and we're fortunate that we somehow are 4th. I don't know how that's happened. But we're in a good position, let's be honest, even though the result hasn't gone the way we wanted it to tonight. But as I say, the most overriding thing for me is the fact that we've sat back, we've approached this game negatively, and I feel like this will be a reoccurring theme throughout the course of the season. And I need to see more from Emery. I need to see a bit more of a pragmatic approach, because playing this way against sides that we should be beating, it's only going to get worse throughout the course of the season. And teams like Leicester, who are really playing well at the minute, teams like West Ham, going away from home to them, we will lose those games. We will lose them if we play like the way we did today. There are a lot of energetic sides that want to play that are playing the type of football we should be playing, getting on the front foot, high energy, high press. We don't seem to do that, even though we've got the tools to do it. And that's what's the most frustrating thing. I want to see Emery change and adapt, but I haven't seen it yet this season. I didn't see it towards the end of last season, and I honestly don't feel entirely confident that his system is going to be the right one. But I'm not going to judge him too soon. I want to see Tierney, I want to see Bellerin and Holding back in the starting 11 before I get a good sense of what the type of football Emery's going to be playing this season is. But I suppose it's quite worrying that Pepe hasn't really hit the ground running in the way that I think we were hoping he would. Of course, we all know it's going to take time to adapt, but he was caught out of possession more times than any other player on the pitch tonight, which is worrying. I know there were some positive stats for him as well, but he was massively outshone by Saka, and I know he's still got to adapt to the Premier League, but he's been at the club about 2 months now. Needs to start performing, and I would start him in that game on Thursday against Standard Liège. I would give him 90 minutes there as well. I think he needs goals, he needs assists. In fact, I know he needs a solid performance where he can take over, dominate a game. We know there's a quality player there. That performance away from home at Anfield, he looked quality there. He looks like a player that is ready to explode, but he just needs that bit of confidence. And a couple of goals in the Europa League would give him that, and put today's performance out of his head, because it was not a great one from Nicola Pepe. But I mean, it wasn't a great one from a lot of the team, let's be honest. It was just painful. It was so bad. Anyway, I really hope this picks up. I really want to believe it will. I don't believe it will just yet. I need to see something from Emery that's going to put a little bit more faith in this team for me, because I haven't seen a performance yet this season where I thought, wow. The only one I thought about is Notts Forest, and that was a game where we did express ourselves, and it shows exactly what we're capable of if we do choose to play the type of football that we are capable of playing. But Emery, for some reason, doesn't seem to encourage that. And that's worrying for me. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Please do let me know your thoughts on the game in the comments box below. Really looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this one. Drop a like on the video if you have enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And as always, I'll be speaking to you very, very soon. Have a good week, guys, and I'll see you later.